Hey guys, JH, welcome to Practice Tea. Okay, today, just going to go back in time a little bit. I had a video the other day from Billy Phillips of MMI Golf, and was amazingly perceptive. Bill's comment to me was, JH, channel lock's a lot more than what it is. It really is a lot more than what you think it is. And he had a look at all the original videos of channel lock when it started out as the one-sided golf swing. And the reason it started out as the one-sided golf swing, the reason was it was a very, very specific reason, and I'll tell you about that. But that was the origin of the species, if you will, of channel lock. So I went back and I had a look at it, and Billy is he's an amazingly perceptive dude. And I got to tell you, if I'd have met Bill 20 years ago, channel lock would have been up and running and probably the most recognised golf swing mechanism in the world today. Because he's just a parallel thinker relative to the way I think. But when you've got two heads coming from different directions but with the same outlook and the same perspective, things happen on a grander scale. So what I did was, guys, I went back and I had a look at channel lock, the evolution or the origin of the species of channel lock, which was the one-sided golf swing. Now, why did I term it back then the one-sided golf swing? I was going to call it the dominant side golf swing, because what I wanted to do, I wanted to come up with a process and a set of mechanics that takes advantage of what we have in our anatomical makeup relative to a dominating force. And for a right-handed golfer, 99.9% of the time, this trail side here is your dominant side and your dominant mechanism of application for basically everything you do. Now, unless you're a left-handed person playing golf right-handed, you will be trail side or right-hand dominant and trail right side dominant. So what I wanted to do was take advantage of that dominancy. And that's how I started out. What I wanted to do was maximize the potential of that trail side dominancy. And in doing that, by wanting to get all of this here to the golf ball, immediately back then I knew that I couldn't do that if the golf ball was over here. I just couldn't do that. Because that dominancy there and the efficiency of that dominancy is located here, down this trail axis, this Doric column of the body that I referred to some time back. The Greek construction column, where it's the most stable method of construction. Now, the trail side to utilise the dominancy as a component, we can't have the ball there, because this trail side dominancy wants to work here. It wants to work there. It doesn't want to work there. And if you're going to maximise and utilise the true potential of the dominant side, you can't do it with a forward ball position there, because these dominant componentry or components here lose their efficiency and their maximisation once you take them away from here. All this dominant componentry here wants to stay here. It wants to be here. It wants to do that, guys. How many times have we stood there with a golf club and done this? It's very natural. We don't stand there with a golf club and do that. But that's what we're expected to do in a golf swing. So that's where the origin of the species originated, and the reason for it. That I wanted to get this entire Trialside Dominancy applied to that golf ball there with maximum efficiency. And I could never do that if the ball was over here. Just couldn't do it. I had to get a mechanism where I could apply the club there, right in front of this dominant column of anatomy. That's what I wanted to do, and that's how channel lock evolved. I thought, what have I got to do that? And I thought, well, clearly I can't do that with the golf ball there, because this dominant componentry here wants to stay here. It doesn't want to go there. It don't want to go there. It wants to stay here. The only way I could get it to stay here was put the ball there. And take out the propensity for that domination to erode or leak its efficiency. Now, if I could just be here like that, fire, that's total efficiency there. Bang, that's really efficient. So what I had to do is I had to make this side of the componentry passive and just completely dominated by this dominant side. I didn't want this side to play any part. It was just there as an accompaniment because it's part of the body. If I had a zipper down here and I could do that and just take that side away and fire here, I would. I'd have to keep this lead arm. But as an analogy, that's what I'm talking about. So what I wanted to do was find out, how do I do that? How do I fire all this energy, all this dominant capability and potential there? I had to stand like this, and I had to put the golf ball there. Couldn't put the golf ball there, because when it's there, that's where the conflict is. Now immediately this dominancy here doesn't want to leave this position. It don't want to leave and go over there. It just doesn't want to do that, guys. And any time you get this trail arm firing itself past this dominant Doric column of anatomy here, it loses efficiency. If you could fire it there, that's maximum efficiency. We used to have a thing in the martial arts called a pressure pad, and we had a horizontal one and we had a vertical one and a horizontal one. And when you were doing a vertical drive, it was straight down the top, and you had to get the dial indicator. And let me tell you, guys, every time what we call a vertical down here was always 30% up on a horizontal thrust here all the time, because it's got gravity assist and it wants to work there, and we're designed to work there. The body's designed to work there. All the balance mechanisms are designed to work there. So I think back to those days, and I know the efficiency of that strike, that vertical down there. I mean, you could get the indicator sometimes almost off the dial, you know, with a full vertical down thrust, but horizontally here, because there's just too much disconnection of componentry to make it efficient. You know, once this trail arm here gets, or these hands and these arms get past the centre of the body, they're bleeding efficiency. If they can stay here when I hit it, and the maximum application is within this structural column here, there, in that plane there, that's where maximum efficiency comes in. And that's how channel lock evolved, guys. And Bill Phillips got me to go back and have a look at that and said, JH, have a look at it. Now, I knew where I was originally, but what happened was that when I got a channel lock in place here, and I wanted the channel beside the body, I wanted the shoulder closed, and I wanted to be able to fire that trail hand and arm at the ball, but not take the shoulder with it, and certainly not take the lead shoulder with it. Now, in doing that, I didn't lose, but I lost focus on the dominancy column here. So what I want to do is reawaken the original species, which was the one-sided golf swing, or what I was going to call it at the time was the Dominator. It's a good name for golf swing, eh? The Dominator may end up being the Dominator. Because guys, if you can actually get this componentry working in this fashion here, like that, look at that, here. I'm here. I'm compressing the power down into this column here. I'm not letting it dissipate by getting these components here away from the line of efficiency. As soon as you move past the line of efficiency, you can't apply maximum application of energy. You can't do that. But all of that aside, the good thing about being on this trail axis here, and the hunt for me was to go to the trail axis because I wanted to apply the dominancy of these components. But in doing that, to do that effectively, I had to be in this configuration here, which is closed shoulders, firing line beside the body, not in front of the body, and so it was a knock-on effect. So that the channel developed as a result of me wanting to apply somehow the dominancy of that trail side. That's where the real species, the origin of the species was, but trying to maximise the efficiency and application of that trail side, those trail side components. And the knock-on effect, guys, was that I had to get the ball back there, and I had to configure myself like this because I wanted the club to go this way beside the body, and in doing that, it brings the shoulder round. And in order to make that efficiency stay and apply itself to the golf ball, I've got to stay here when I hit it. Here. That's where I've got to be in a convoluted, over-exaggerated manner. And Bill Phillips was talking about that this morning. And Joe Barnes from Tennessee, I mean, I did a video for him yesterday just explaining just that in terms of the efficiency of that of the lead arm. We don't want we want maximum connection here of the trail arm, guys, when we hit it with the dominant side here and the channel lock locking in of the channel here. We want that here, but we don't want this. We want this connection here in the backswing so we can take it in a straight line, and we want to apply it in a straight line, but we don't want to get too locked up with the connection here post impact. We don't want to be here post impact, because if you do that, guys, there's a chance that you'll roll, pivot, release it, or just body roll it. So you want everything connected here in the backswing in this configuration here, and I have my elbow on my side here, and my left lead arm on my body here, and I take it back in that fashion there. But on the downswing, as I fire it in here, I want this arm to just move away from the body because I want it to continue on that in to out path. Now, really can't do that, guys, if you keep it connected. Think about this. You can't do that. If I'm here, if I'm connected on the backswing and I'm going straight line, and I want to go straight line, I want to keep straight line post impact because that's the thought configuration that I want to allow me to get into out. I can't have it here. I can't keep that connection on that lead arm because if I do, it's going to cause the club to arc. So what I want to do here is once I'm firing it down here, I get this disconnection here in this bit of space. It's here, there. That arm gets away. It doesn't stay in here. It doesn't suck in and pull back. Because if it does that, guys, it'll go radially and it'll pull the club up. Whereas, if I'm connected here on the backswing and I start down with that pull in a very, very aggressive manner. If I start that action there, pulling down here, that lead arm will get out there, it'll elongate, and it'll roll release like it normally does because of inertia. Yeah, so don't try and keep that arm in there with this golf swing post impact. Just let it go and feel. As a result, as Bill said this morning, and I said to Joe Barnes in the video that I sent him, he needs to feel this. You'll know you've stayed in the channel and you fired it on the correct line when this whole configuration here stays inside that lead shoulder when you're there. You don't want any of this escaping around here. This is the blocker, guys. This is the channel creator and the extender of the channel here. That's what you want to feel here. Here. As I said before, it'll always feel like a block action when you do it right. When you do it right, it'll feel like a block action. Here, there, there, there. Don't let this club here escape outside this shoulder girdle here as a feeling. Now this side will feel like it's all locked up and blocky. That's what you want to feel. Just hit some 3/4 shots that way and get that feel. Because guys, that's exactly what you want as a feel. You need to get here and then here as a Dominator and just fire that dominant in there. Now that's exaggerated, but see that club is still captive inside this shoulder line here. It hasn't got away, it hasn't gone over here. It's still there. And that causes the lead shoulder to go up and the trail shoulder to stay down and locked in behind. So guys, what I just wanted to do was just reply to Billy Phillips, my Southern General. He's a perceptive dude, that Billy. And that's what you want in teaching. You don't want any fancy pants terminology. You don't want any launch monitor readout, any of that sort of stuff. Guys, at the end of the day, let me tell you, I used to have a standard line, a mantra for me. I said that you'll know when your mechanics are the right mechanics for you when you've got the right ball flight. When the ball flight's right, the mechanics are right. Nothing else matters. It doesn't matter that my swing doesn't look like Ben Hogan's or Jack Nicklaus's. But if I could get a similar ball flight, then the mechanics for me are the right mechanics. They're not Hogan's, they're not Nicklaus's, they're not Jason Day's, they're not Rory's. But they're the right mechanics because the ball flight's right. And that's why I know this is great, because the ball flight is absolutely right for me. So I know the mechanics, irrespective of how they look or what people might suggest about them, they are the right mechanics because they can produce that type of ball flight. Absolutely no question about that. And Bill had that, Bill Phillips on MMI Golf this morning, had that, he's a sweetheart. I love the guy. I mean, I really love the guy. He's fantastic. Here's what teaching needs. We don't need the palaver in teaching. We need that down-to-earth, southern, this is what it is, guys, logic. And Billy had that great little analogy there, where he had the camera on his shoes, he had the 3 pair of shoes over here, and he said, these 3 pair of shoes here are a line of shoes. They're everybody, and they go on to infinity. But this one over here are your shoes, because they fit you. You can't wear those shoes there. They don't fit you. They're not made for you. But those shoes are there. And that's the same with the swing. And the pun that I made with Bill, and I have to do it here because I just love the stage. I'm a performer. I should have been on the stage. I should have been a comedian. A lot of people say I should have been on the stage, the next one out of town. But what I said to Bill was, and I think it's a good analogy, is that every one of those shoes there has got a different sole. They've got different soles. None of the soles on those shoes are different. They're all different shoes, so they've got different soles. And you know what, guys? Every golf swing's got its own sole. Every golf swing has got its own sole. It's your sole. It's the sole of your golf swing. One's an SOLE sole, which is here, and the other one's an SOUL sole, which is here. Yeah, so I'm eternally grateful to you, Billy. You're just a whiz-bang. But your whiz-bang is not fanfare. It's just, this is what it is. And the point Billy made was, and I should have said that at the start of the presentation, was, and I totally agree because I've used it myself over the years, you know, what we do here and what the body does here is what the body wants to do. It wants to be here. It wants to do this type of thing. It wants to be here. It don't want to be over here. It wants to be here. So let it do what it wants to do. That's the whole secret of golf, of the golf swing. Well, it's the whole secret of, even with general mechanics and traditional golf swings, you've got to let your body do what it wants to do. If you put any restrictions on it relative to your anatomics or your biomechanics, it ain't going to perform. So you've got to work out a way to get your body functioning as it wants to function with a set of mechanics that are conducive to give you a ball flight that you want. Whatever they are. Whatever that ball flight there, once you get that ball going in that direction there, whatever mechanics are constituting that ball flight, they are the right mechanics, because that is the right ball flight. And you've got to let your body do what it wants to do. My body wants to stay there. It knows that this is the dominant side. That's where it is there. It wants to get in there. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to do that and just go back, because I'm eternally grateful to Billy Phillips for alerting me to that. Because when I went back and had a look at the one-sided swing, and I remember when I did that, I was going to call it the dominant side swing. And it's this dominancy here, guys, that is natural and endemic and innate to us. So we don't want to bleed it out. This dominancy here can't be effective over here. I promise you. It can only be effective if it's here. Here. Now I'll do more on that, and I'll show you how to do more drills that will let you take advantage of that going forward. But now that I've been awakened to the real soul of channel lock, thanks to the brilliant logical observations of Bill Phillips. I mean, he saw something in there, and he didn't even do it. He wasn't involved in the original ones, but he saw it, and there was no dialogue in there when I was extolling the virtues of the original one-sided golf swing. But he was perceptive enough to see what was happening, and he was perceptive enough to know, okay, JH, that's why you're doing that, because the body wants to do that. You don't want to do that. You don't want to take this from here over there. It wants to stay here. And that's what that does, and that's what the dominant side golf swing can do. Okay? Channel lock is channel lock, but it may end up being Dominator. Because if we can dominate that golf ball, and we can lock the domination into a channel, we're channel Dominator. Whatever. Anyway, guys, my eternal thanks to my dear friend Billy Phillips. Any of you guys in those southern states, or even if you're not in the southern states, just get on a plane, go and see the guy. He's one of the most astute swing guys. Well, he probably is the most astute guy I've ever seen, ever been exposed to. I mean, he just looks at it and he just knows what it is. And I'm eternally grateful that he shares that astuteness with me. Okay, guys, have a look at that. Long drawn out palaver here, but a lot of stuff, and I think it's interesting. And they're the reasons behind the origin of the species, which was the one-sided swing, which is now the channel lock swing. Okay, guys, as I say, no hitting, but a lot of explanation. I hope it didn't bore you. And Robert Bernard, I couldn't do that in 2 minutes. That's probably taken 30 minutes. Couldn't do that in 2 minutes. Only kidding.